Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Today, we've got something special. We're gonna try to brew 2 beers today. We may not finish, may have to finish the other one another day, but we'll see. We're doing 2 IPAs. We're gonna make sure that they're identical with the exception of the hops, even though they're all the same amount, pellet hops and everything. We're testing something with the Anvil Foundry, 10.5 gallon, small batch adapter. So the brewing's gonna apply to anyone brewing with any equipment. But if you're using a foundry, the big question is how much does this help with our efficiencies? So the theory is that it's gonna block off these holes around here and force the water to flow directly through. Theory with that, because these holes are there to give you better water flow and to avoid stuck sparges. Well, if you're not gonna get a stuck sparge or stuck mash and the water's gonna flow right through, wort, whatever you wanna call it, is it gonna increase our efficiency? We're gonna make sure our pH is the same, we're using the same brewing salts. If I have to add a little lactic acid, I'll make sure I add the same to both and I'll test to make sure our pHs are good. But the whole goal here is to see if we can boost our efficiency by using the small batch adapter on regular batches. Very simple grain bill today. We've got 11.5 pounds of grain, approximately 7.5 gallons of water. And the grain bill, I could have gone for a smash. People who don't know what a smash is, single malt, single hop. But I want to brew real, like you do, like everybody wants to do, and they want to mix up some grains, give it different flavors, give it a nice malt backbone to go with the hops. I mean, our IBUs are up around 70. So I've got literally 8 pounds of pale ale, 2-row Belgian malt, 1 pound, 11 ounces of Vienna Malt, a biscuit there, 1 pound of Carared, half a pound of acid malt, helping with the pH, and 3.5 pounds of caramel crystal malt 80. This one actually is going to use Idaho, which is going to be our first one, where we use the small batch adapter, Idaho Gem, get that nice juicy fruit. And we're going to finish with Imperial A44 yeasts to give it all those nice tropical flavors. Following the same thing with our Columbus hops as our bittering hops. This one we're going to finish with our Eukanot hop, and then we're going to use Framgarden yeast to also give it tropical flavors. This way I get to try out the different hops, I get to try out the different yeasts while testing. Because when I brew beer, I don't brew it to pour it down the drain, I brew it to share, drink, and enjoy. So let's get brewing. Don't forget, if you haven't had a chance, share this with your friends, subscribe, like, appreciate all the feedback, appreciate the comments. Keep it coming. Let's get brewing. Mashing it at 148. I didn't mention, but I crushed all the grains at 0.0375 of an inch. On a serial crusher, it's literally about a 45 between the top and the bottom on the backside. The more you crush it, the better your efficiencies, but also the more likely you're gonna have a problem or get your grains and everything through it. So it's kind of a happy balance of where you wanna be, but I wanna make sure we're aware of that when I'm comparing that for the Brew House Efficiencies. That is a huge consideration. So I'm gonna put our brewing salts in. It's all gonna help with our acidity. I don't know what that beeping is, and I'm sorry. Doing this on a Monday, hoping that everybody's either at work, asleep, or not mowing their lawn. Okay, smash in. Gonna do 75 minutes at 148 Fahrenheit, and then we are going to mash out to 10 minutes at 168 and rock and roll from there. Okay, we're gonna add equal amounts of rice hulls on each one too, just for safety. So crazy cheap, it's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, see, 148 and I'm sitting up about 152. I'll lower the power once I get everything adjusted. Okay. I'm gonna let that go for about 10 minutes, take a sample and check pH. We've been doing this for 75 minutes, so I'm gonna kick it up to 168. There we go. Do that for 10 minutes and we'll mash out. Not sure if I missed hitting play, but I just pulled this up. It's draining, as you can hear it. Didn't burn myself. Okay, we're gonna kick this up because we know we're gonna get to a boil here. I'll let that drain for a little bit. Temperature's coming up. Scrape the bottom. We'll start our boil here shortly. Okay. We're at 199. You can see that foam in there? That foam traps the heat, which helps it to come up to a boil much, much faster. The only key is once it starts to boil, you want to get a break, which means literally a break to allow the heat to escape. Otherwise, you'll end up with a boil over. A lot of times it'll happen naturally, but stirring helps too. Worst case, you reduce the temperature. It's beeping at 200, even though technically boil for this is 212. So I'm not sure why it's beeping, but it's at 200. Okay, here it comes. A rolling boil, or the break, protein break. I'm gonna stir this up so I don't end up with any kind of boil over. Out, there we go. Just gotta let some of that heat out. There we go, nice rolling boil. And we're gonna do this for about 30 minutes. Do our first hop addition, which will be our 60-minute, and then go for another 60. Last 5 minutes, we'll drop another hop. The Idaho Gem, AKA Juicy Fruit, according to the description. Okay, move my 60-minute additions to 45 minutes. So I could add 2 ounces of hops in the last 5 minutes to kind of get the flavor up a little more. That way we're still sitting close to about 70 IBU. Okay, there's our Columbus 1 ounce addition. And we got 2 ounces of Idaho Gem, GEM. Smells really good. Okay, we'll let that go for another almost 45 minutes, for another 35 before we start working on getting stuff done towards the end and get ready for our 5-minute hop addition. Okay, we're on the last 5 minutes here. 2 ounces Idaho Gem. You do that without burning myself. Always an achievement. Dropping in the super moss. Wyeast yeast nutrient. Okay, that's it. We're gonna call it end of the boil. Now to gain as much of our wort back from the hops as possible. Get our agitation going. Poor man style or lazy man style, that's it. Lazy man. Lazy agitation. Does the job though. For the pH, quantity, the brew house efficiency, everything, I'm gonna put a little mark based on where this ends up. So that way we can, when we go to dump the rest, since everything's been measured, but the boil off could be slightly different, we'll mark it to verify that our quantity is the same or pretty damn close, should we say, for comparison reasons. Also, I'm not gonna let this get much cooler. I'm pitch and quake anyways, although I'll have to cool some down for hydrometer reasons. And that way we can get on to the next brew. Batch number 2. This is the American IPA. It's like the last one. The only difference is we're gonna use a different hop at the end, which is Eukanot, instead of Idaho Gem. I didn't PBW and star sand, I just cleaned everything best I could. It's brewing back to back. Not a big deal. Not to mention we're gonna boil everything. So really not a big deal. Although this might be a big deal. Gotta find my brewing salts. Brewing salts. Gotta compare apples to apples. Getting a 100th of a gram is a real pain in the butt. But there we go. And let's give it a nice blend. Put a little aggression there. Feels good. sipping on a pumpkin lager I bought. Kind of happy I only bought one. It's good, but it's not great. Kind of liking this. Makes my life a little easier. Oh, and I almost forgot. We put a couple of rice hulls in the last one. Gotta keep the same. Here's a full cup of rice hulls. And it sounds like we got rain coming again. So here comes the rain again? Pretty much. It says 153, the last one did too. We're leaving it alone, 158, 100%. Should have lowered the previous one, but we gotta keep everything the same. So. And here we go, pump on. So we got 90 minutes. We'll let that run. It's all good. We'll check it in about 10 minutes, check our pH, and rock on from there. It's been 75 minutes. We're gonna move on up here. 168. And we'll heat up our sparge water and we'll keep rocking. 212. Just forget how hot that gets. Should be like a game. See if you can get the ring in. Stay on the first try. Would lose miserably. Okay. And we're retaining some water, but we aren't even using the small batch adapter, so we'll let that drain a little bit. Yeah, I overheated my sparge water again. So we'll let that cool a little bit and then we'll start dumping it over the top. That's gonna take a bit. Okay, it just started boiling 2 minutes ago, about 43 minutes before we add our first hop. And we'll rock on. Okay, we got 45 minutes left. Let's drop this bad boy in. First hops, which is nice 1 ounce Columbus. In the last 5 minutes, we have 2 ounces of Eukanot, or Eukanot, however you want to say it. Smells good too. Don't forget occasionally, scrape the bottom. Preferably with plastic or wood. Don't do it with metal. Okay, we're in the last 5 minutes, so it is time to add the super moss. And I almost forgot the most important part about the last 5 minutes, our 2 ounces of hops. And back to the fun again. There we go. Wyeast yeast nutrient. Okay, we're gonna let that run for about 5 minutes and then we'll shut her down. Start cooling it down. Okay, it's time to call it a day. Chill this wort down. Okay, it's time to call it a day. Chill this wort down. Kill the heat. And there we go. Let's get our agitation on. There we go. Okay, so we finished the brew. Here's our Idaho Gem. Yep, Idaho Gem. Kind of like the state. And then this one over here is the Eukanot. I'm gonna put Imperial A44 over here. I'm gonna put Fremgarden over here. Had Ebb and RAF as backups. The big question is, did this have any impact? Well, first of all, I kind of screwed up and haven't been using acid malt that much. And when I do, I only use about 4 ounces in an average brew. I think 6 if it's a really big one. But I put a half a pound, I wasn't even thinking straight, and dropped the pH to 4.96. If you're brewing during the malt, or the mash, shall we say, you want to bring it down between 5.2 and 5.6. So it's about a little more than 0.2 below where I should have been. We'll see how it comes out. It probably won't impact it at all, but we'll see. But did it impact the efficiency? The pH was the same. The crush on the grain mill was 0.0375 of an inch. So everything being the same. Water, liquid, measured out, everything. Did this impact it? Actually, it did. I was looking for a 75% efficiency on the first batch where we used this. I got a 76% efficiency. Over here on this batch, I got a 72% efficiency. So I have a 4% efficiency increase by using the small batch adapter to reduce the water flow on the outer edges and force it to go through the malt pipe. So yeah, 4% more of the sugars were pulled out of the grain and not left behind. So that's significant. Didn't get to 85, I got that one day, that was awesome. But I'll take a 76 over a 72 any day of the week. One more thing to clean, one more thing to deal with, but hey, it's all good. Okay, I'm gonna pitch the yeast real quick and we'll call it a day. The Imperial A44 is actually a blend of 3 quick yeasts. I haven't found anywhere where they tell you what the blend is, but I can kind of guess on a few of them. It's all tropical. And oh my gosh, you should underpitch. Yeah, from everything I've read from brewers, actual professional brewers, pitching the right amount or over pitching is always better than under pitching. We're gonna pause for a second because I need to clean that before I put it over here. Okay, I rinsed it out. Pop this open, drop it in. And we'll go put them in the fermenter and see how it goes. As I'm splashing yeast everywhere. Okay, we got star sand, we'll clean it up. Thank you again for joining us at Bitter Reality Brewing. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and please share. Thank you again. See how these turn out.